Okay, 6-2 work together. In the directions it says general journals and the cash receipts journal are provided for us. Number 1, Lycum Incorporated had net sales of $642,453.29 during the current year, ended December 31st. It estimates that the amount of uncollectible accounts expense is equal to 0.8% of net sales. Record the adjusting entry for uncollectible accounts expense on December 31st. So first we need to figure out how much we believe is going to be uncollectible. So we're going to take that net sales, $642,453.29. I'm getting this from the directions. And I'm going to multiply that times the 0.8% that we believe is going to be uncollectible. Okay, so that gives us a number of $5,139.63. That's what we're assuming is going to be uncollectible. So we're going to do that adjustment on December 31st. And we're going to debit uncollectible accounts expense for that amount that we just figured out. And we're going to credit the allowance for uncollectible accounts for that same amount. Okay, that was step 1. Step number 2, it says the aging of accounts receivable for Rollins Incorporated as of December 31st of the current year and estimated percentages of uncollectible accounts by age group are presented. Calculate the estimated balance of allowance for uncollectible accounts. Record the adjusting entry for uncollectible accounts expense. The balance of the allowance for uncollectible accounts on December 31st before the adjusting entries are recorded is a debit of $148.60. Okay, so first we're going to figure out these collectible amounts. So I'm going to take each amount for each age group and then times the percentage for each age group. So first one, I'm going to take that $32,154.62 times, we're estimating 3% of that will be uncollectible. So that amount will be $964.64. Next one is going to be $850.74. Next one is $514.86. Next we have $643.2. And the last one is $921.03. So next what we're going to do is we're going to add up those amounts that we figured out to be uncollectible. Okay, so the total amount that we are estimating will be uncollectible is $894.29. Okay, then it tells us the current balance of allowance for uncollectible accounts. And it says that this is going to be a debit balance. So that's key in there that this is a debit balance. So technically it's almost like a negative number. So I'm actually going to put that. Yep. So I'm going to write that as a negative so it puts it in parentheses for me. Because normally we're going to have a credit balance in our allowance for uncollectible accounts. Since we have a debit balance, what that's telling us is that last fiscal period we used over the amount than we actually had. So this fiscal period, we're going to have to put this amount back in, plus this amount that we need for this fiscal period to be uncollectible, or that we're estimating will be uncollectible. So I'm actually, instead of subtracting, I'm actually going to add these two numbers together. So my total that I will put in there is going to be $4,042.97. Okay, direction number 3 then says that we're going to journalize the following. Actually, I skipped the last part, I think. Yep. The last part of direction number 2, we need to put in that adjusting entry. So December 31st and I'm going to debit my uncollectible accounts expense for that amount that we figured up above. So $4,042.97. And then I'm going to credit my allowance for uncollectible accounts for $4,042.97. All right, now on to step number 3. Step number 3 says we're going to journalize the following transactions completed during the current year. We have 2 transactions. Our first one is January 6th. We wrote off Marcia Ayers' past due account as uncollectible, 621.23, memorandum number 225. So that's going to go into my general journal. I'm going to start with my date, January 6th. I'm writing off Marcia Ayers' account, so I'm going to debit my allowance for uncollectibles. That is memorandum 225. And I'm going to debit for the amount that they give us of 621.23. And then I'm going to credit accounts receivable, specifically her account, for that same amount, 621.23. Okay, next transaction, April 14th, we received cash in full payment of Marcia Ayers' account, previously written off as uncollectible, for $621.23, memorandum number 259, and receipt number 630. So first, what I need to do is reopen her account. So I'm going to do that in my general journal, April 14th. And all I'm going to do is reverse this where I wrote off her account. I'm going to reverse it to reopen it. So I'm going to debit accounts receivable, Marcia Ayers, for 621.23. And I'm going to credit my allowance for uncollectible accounts for 621.23. Okay, after I do that, the second part is I need to actually record the payment that I received. That's going to go into our cash receipts journal, April 14th, and that's a cash debit. So I'm going to go over and put my cash debit in first of 621.23, and I'm going to credit accounts receivable 621.23, and specifically that's going to be Marcia Ayers. Document number, I forgot my document number up above too. That's going to be receipt 630. And here I need to put in memorandum, what was that, 259. Okay, so that was all my transactions there. I'm going to check my answer, make sure everything looks good. And you can now go on to the 6-2 on your own.